Hey guys, how's it going? Don Scissors here, and today what I'm bringing on the channel is my full team recap of the newest draft league that I'm in, the PLC, aka the Pokémon League Championship. You may or may not have watched the video that came out on the channel yesterday, which was the full live recap me and my friend Jan did together. That was not just my team, it was every single team that we discussed in that one. So I decided to make a little bit of a shorter video, talk about the draft league a little bit, and talk about my team, obviously. You see the first round pick already, so spoiler on that, but I'll talk about that one in a while. Quick rules about the league, sorry, that I'm in right now. It's pretty much the same as the draft leagues that I've been in for a while right now. The only thing that's different about this league is that there's 12 Pokemon in total we can use instead of 11. And other than that, the rules are still the same showdown server, still the same rules and everything. So nothing too different about that. But the biggest difference, you guys, I feel, is the logo above me or above there. It's the Harlem Haxorus. I changed my team name basically because I wanted a new fresh start. I was the San Francisco Scissors for a very long time, and I thought since I stopped last time for a little bit, I thought, well, since I'm making a sort of comeback a little bit, why not change everything up, get a new team logo, and I really like the logo, also made by a friend of mine called Mario, and I really like it, so I hope we perform this season. And let's see with what team we will be doing that, you guys. So in this league, there's 12 teams in total, and we were 7, so we were in the middle there. So I'm pretty used to being in the middle the last couple of draft leagues, so nothing too scary about that. Gives me time to think about what I want, what fits the team best, and stuff like that, without having to wait too long to grab it. So it's an upside and a downside to being in the middle, but I'll take it. So first up, as our 7th pick overall, we chose Mew. Reason for that I picked Mew was its versatility. Mew can pretty much do anything. You can run it defensively with Stealth Rocks. I can run a weakness policy set on it and just sweep people. I can run it special. I can run it physically. I can run it with a Scarf with base 100 speed. Mew is just so useful, and I've been talking to it with some friends a while that I wanted Mew, but I never was able to grab it, or I had other plans, or whatever. And this league, it was still there. There wasn't really one outstanding Pokemon that I wanted besides Mew, because I went into this draft open-minded. So Mew, definitely for me, round 1 pick, really good Pokemon. And Mew fits every single team. And the good side about Mew as well is you cannot prep against Mew. You don't know which Mew you're going to face, and that's going to give my opponents a lot of struggle, so I hope to take advantage of that fact as well. Second pick, you guys, I had to do it. It's not the San Francisco Scissors anymore, but I had to pick up my buddy Mega Scissor. At this moment in the draft, I had a plan of what I was doing with my next picks after this, and I was looking like, well, what kind of Mega would fit my team? And I was like, Mega Lopunny could fit the team as well, but I decided I haven't had Mega Scizor in such a long time, and I really wanted him, so there was no reason for me not to grab him. So I grabbed him around 2, just to be sure nobody else sniped me from him, maybe. And his awesome offensive stats, only 1 weakness, having Roost option, U-turn, knock off, bullet punch obviously, setting up with Swords Dance or Curse, whichever one I want to do that week, even Defog if I want to be supportive that week. Superpower, it's just really versatile, good moves, and the good thing about Scizor as well on my team is I pretty much know, not 100% sure, but I pretty much know that Pokemon are either going to bring Will-O-Wisp for it to burn it or Scald or whatever, or they're going to bring their Fire-type Pokemon to deal with this Pokemon. Because if you don't have a decent Fire-type Pokemon or a good offensive Pokemon, me just setting up and roosting it is just going to sweep everybody's team. So it's going to be really scary. I really love Scizor. I've played with it well in the last couple of years ago, and I'm excited to see what I can do with it this season. The next pick I think really fits Scissor really well, and it's Tapu Fini. I had Tapu Fini in DBC Season 3, and I really love Tapu Fini in Draft League format with the Misty Terrain. It makes sure that my Pokemon won't get status affected, which really benefits Mega Scizor. And having a good bulky water and fairy type in one, base 130 defense and special defense, really good, really solid. It's gonna be my main defogger. Not gonna lie about that. Everybody knows it's getting defog, and it's good at that. But don't underestimate Fini's offensive potential. Potential, sorry. Moonblast, Shadow Ball, Ice Beam. I think it gets. Nature's Madness, wonderful move to cut your opponent's HP into half right away. So I'm really excited for me being able to get Fini in round 3. Because for me personally, as a supportive Pokemon, it's the best of the Tapus to have on your team. Like, Coco is offensively really well. Bulu with his terrain has its benefits for a specific team. But having a Pokemon that makes like Will-O-Wisp not affected or guarantees you not to get Scald Burned, really good for my offensive threats, which I have already and will be getting later, but more on that later. So Tapu Fini in round 3, amazing steal for me, I feel. Going in round 4, you guys, I was looking to finish up my core. Obviously, there are different cores in draft leagues. My favorite is a Dragon Fairy Steel core. And I decided, because my 3 points were already based out, so I couldn't grab another tier 1. I decided to look into tier 2, which Pokemon I wanted, and I saw that Hydreigon was still there. Really good Dark and Dragon type Pokemon, having U-turn access as well. And its speed stat making it good for Scarfer, which I really appreciate, so that I can just throw Scarf on there, be faster than everything, and just hit really hard, or just U-turn out of there for momentum. But what a lot of people don't see in Hydreigon is it can also be run defensively. With Roost, for example, Rocky Helmet, I can also do it that way. So I can surprise my opponents thinking they can take Hydreigon out while it can still tank a hit. So me using Hydreigon is going to be the first time ever in a draft league. And I've seen it used by a lot of people really well. So I have some ideas. And I think it will fit this team really, really well. Next up, round 5, going into tier 3, because I wasn't going into my 3 points right away. Again, because it was pretty common known that I only could get like another tier 2 and tier 4 and tier 5. That's my plan intentionally. So I decided to finish up another core, the Water, Fire, Grass core. Chandelure was there and still in tier 3. I needed something on the special side to hit really hard. Chandelure gets base 145 with potential of setting up. Good coverage moves. It gets Shadow Ball, for example, Flamethrower, but also it gets Energy Ball. And I made Chandelure one of my Z-move users, so that's going to be really scary for my opponents to deal with as well. The good thing about Chandelure, I can run it like with a Z-move. I can run it specs if my opponent's not speedy enough to deal with me, or I can even Scarf it. I've seen Scarf Chandelure. It's really good. Really love this Pokemon. Always when it played against me, I was struggling with it. So this season, I decided not to struggle against it, but just grab it for my team and see what it can do for me. So the team's looking really solid up until now, I feel. And in round 6, I decided to go into tier 4 and grabbing my Mudsdale. Mudsdale is a really good ground type, and I appreciate ground types in a draft league format, because people almost every time get a speedy electric type Pokemon, and Mudsdale can just tank them down. Good thing about Mudsdale as well is that it can be run defensively with Assault Vest, for example. But if you choice band this thing, good luck dealing with it. It hits really hard on the physical side. Stab Earthquake, for example. It gets, I think, a Steel type move. Don't know which one out of my mind, but it gets a really good Steel type move. Can get Stealth Rocks as well to be a support Pokemon, but its ability Stamina, increasing your defense every time you've been hit. It's just really good. This thing would have been better if it could have healed itself up, which it can't, but other than that, perfect Pokemon to have for tier 4 in my opinion. And having that as my ground type, seeing with the ground types that were still available to me, really good steal, really good attribute to the team. So I'm excited. Mudsdale, also a Pokemon I haven't used before, so I'm excited to see how I'll perform with it and how it will support the team, obviously. So we're over the halfway mark, and we're in round 7. People were starting to look into tier 5s already at this point in the league. Some tier 5s already been taken. And for me personally, I don't think there's a lot of tier 5 Pokemons that I would have fit into this team. So I decided to go into tier 5 right away and grab my buddy Girder. You may not know, but I've used Girder in a lot of like friendly leagues and stuff like that. But I just love Girder. Having the Eviolite boosts his defense up, but it gets bulk up. It's like a mini version of Conkeldurr actually. It can get Drain Punch, Mac Punch, Elemental Punches, Knock Off, and if you invest in special defense and still keep it on the physical side, you'll be able to tank its psychic hits, which are super effective against it. And don't underestimate Girder because it can hit insanely hard without bulking up. But after a bulk up for sure, trust me, this Pokemon can hit like a tank. And that's why I wanted it. I still wanted a tier 5 Pokemon that's not just on the roster for being like, well, I just needed a tier 5, so here you go, I'll grab this one. Now, I want to make my opponents think about Girder and realize Girder is a threat. And if I bring Girder and you're not prepared against it, I wish you the best of luck. So I'm really happy to get Girder around 7. And moving on to round 8, I decided to go back to tier 3. And for me personally, guys, this Pokemon should have been gone a lot earlier. So I decided not to wait longer in case somebody saw the same thing I did. Tornadus Incarnate is gonna join the squad, and I really love this Pokemon. Prankster ability is something that I can really need in this team. For example, Prankster Defog in case I'm almost dead but I want to get the rocks off the field. Tailwind support is there. You name it and Prankster can just do it. But it's really speedy as well. Can be run physically or specially. Made this my second Z move user with Chandelure. So if this comes with a Z move, you don't know which one's going to be. So that's going to scare my opponents as well. And I've used it very well in a couple of leagues. And I really love the genies in draft league format. And having Tornadus Incarnate as a tier 3 pick in this squad. Yeah, I mean, just look at the team on my left, you guys. It's really insane. And I'm just loving it so far. I haven't been sniped yet. And have not been sniped in a draft league is really awesome. So I'm really happy with Tornadus Incarnate in round 8. To finish up the tier 4 and the required slots in total, I was looking for something speedy. And because with a lot of Pokemon, they're not that high on their speed stat, or they needed a Scarf to be really speedy. I didn't want the Pokemon relying on that every single time. And I saw Ambipom. And I've used Ambipom Season 3 at the DBC. And Ambipom and I just work perfectly together. What I love about Ambipom is its Silk Scarf potential, raising its normal stat even higher. Having that with Fake Out and Return, for example, if you don't have a Ghost type or a Steel type or something that can tank a hit, you're going to be hit really hard. But even if you want to switch it in, it's fine by me. I'm just going to U-turn out of there or just knock something off and we will be fine with that as well. So Ambipom for tier 4 still being there in round 9. There wasn't anything else I really saw in tier 4 that I wanted to grab right away. But I know Ambipom is a really wanted Pokemon that could have gone in like later picks or before I was back to round 10. So I decided not to wait and just grab Ambipom right away here. Next up, definitely a steal for me. Like I said, I didn't want to dive into my 3 points. I first wanted to get my team together and then see from the 3 points that I have what I could build to complete the team. And I had this on my mind for a while. Noticed that a lot of people either had a rock type or a poison type already. So I pretty much thought it would be safe. And I decided to wait until round 10 to grab Nihilego. Nihilego, obviously a very speedy special attacker. It's going to be really good for me to have. Because I had a lot of physical presence, but I also needed next to Chandelure some special presence. Nihilego is just awesome. I feel it's underlooked as an Ultra Beast, in my opinion. But if you get a Beast Boost off, and even if you don't, Rock Gem or Sludge Wave or whatever, Can hit really hard, can be really supportive. I can even do toxic spikes if I feel like that. If I want to play it that week, if I really see the point of draining my opponent down slowly but steady. Knee Lego gives me that option. Can take hits really good if you prep it really well. So grabbing Knee Lego from tier 2, definitely a steal for me. And yeah, like I said in round 9 with Ambipom, this team, you guys, I think is looking really insane already. But let's go into the next picks, which will complete my team overall. And round 11, I already talked about it. Electric types always going, pretty much almost going in a draft league. And I decided to go with Electivire. What I had to do is I was looking to grab Knee Lego obviously already, and I was looking in the tier 4 and tier 5 which electric types were still there. And for me personally, Electivire stood out, so I'm really happy that I could grab it. Its ability Motor Drive, really useful. Let's say I have Feeny with me, and somebody wants to Thunderbolt Feeny. That's fine. Let's bring Electivire in with Motor Drive, increasing my speed stat with +1 and making it really scary to deal with. It gets punches, as you see it's already extending its arm to deal with a punch, but it also gets Earthquake, for example. It gives me Volt Switch momentum, which I really like to have. I have a couple of U-turners and now a Volt Switcher, besides Mew obviously, but a dedicated Volt Switcher. So it's really, really good to have. I can Scarf it, I can Band it, I can even do it with leftovers and still be powerful enough to deal some really good hits. So getting Electivire out of tier 4 in round 11, really good Pokemon. And what I'm going to do, you guys, is I'm going to go in my last round. And my buddy Tangela is here. It started in the IBC, which I upload on the channel as well. And you may have seen Tangela being really useful for me over there. Unfortunately, I think we stopped in week 3, if I'm correct. And I didn't use Tangela that much, but I did really like it. So I was like, Tangela gets overlooked so many times. It's pretty much safe for me to go to in round 12. And that's what I did. Everybody already had their grass types in like round 9 or 10, I think, the latest. So Tangela was really safe for me. And this is going to be my physical wall every single time. With the ability to drain my opponents from their health with Toxic, Lead Sheet, for example, or even Knock Off to get those items out of there. So I'm really happy to grab Tangela. And looking at this team, you guys, like I already said twice in the last couple of rounds, this team, I haven't been sniped a single time. So for me, this is a good combination of Pokemon that I've already used and are familiar with. Best examples are being the Mega Scizor, the Tapu Fini, and the Ambipom, for example. I really use those a lot. But there's also some new Pokemon I haven't used a lot, but I think will be really useful. And the ones standing out are obviously Mew, Hydreigon, and Chandelure in that department. But overall, I think this team covers everything perfectly. I don't see, and that's not to be arrogant, you guys, don't get me wrong, but I have a cover for everything. There's a lot of speed in total, a lot of defense, a lot of offense. So all around, I think this is one of the, not maybe even the best team I drafted in my single life in a draft league format. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited to start this draft league. And about the upload schedule, I'll talk about that with you guys as well, since you're still here. Obviously, today the draft recap has been done. Starting next week on the Saturday, 8 p.m. GMT +2, so that's my local time here in the Netherlands. First of all, on the Saturdays, there will always be the team builders. And a couple of buddies of mine are also doing their YouTube channels and doing this league. So if I'll battle against them, I'll link them for sure for you guys as well. And on every Sunday, same time, we will be showing the battles. So look forward to that, you guys. I don't know about you, but I'm really excited to use this team in the newest draft league and see how we can perform. Personally, my goal every single time is going to be going for the playoffs and going for the championship. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think about this team. Do you think it's championship material? And show your support to the Harlem Haxorus. And if you're not subscribed yet, please make sure you do, because you won't miss any single content on the Draft League. And with that, you guys, I'm out. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Bye bye.